5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How about we do it again?
6, 7, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think I farted.
Okay, let's try one more
I
time.
definitely.
Ready?
I can move you. Making review. Making review.
Say 6,
6,
5,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Rank and Review. This is the voice of your host and random Canadian Larry Parsons. And if you listen to the show, you know that I am obsessed about movies. But a little bit of a blind spot of culture to me is video games. And I've got Shawn Lawrence on the show, and this man knows video games. So we're going to talk about 6 movies that are either based on video games or are courting that audience, and we're going to do our rank and review treatment. So as such, you should go into it with the understanding that there's going to be spoilers for the movies being reviewed, and probably some coarse language from me. And you might have feedback to give the episode, and you can do that at the ranknreview@gmail.com. That's ranknreview@gmail.com. The website is ranknreview.ca. And if you like, maybe take a peek at the YouTube presence that's very small, but, you know, spunky. And just spread the word about Rank and Review. Thanks for being here. We drop every other Wednesday, and I really hope you enjoy game movies. Shawn Lawrence, welcome officially to Rank and Review. I know you've been here before, but this is a whole episode for you here, and I'm hoping to play to your strengths. Well, I was talking to you before we hit record and said that you are a gamer and I am not, and that you might have more insight. I know you took issue with the Resident Evil podcast because there was nobody to represent the gamers.
Yeah, it's, there was nothing wrong with the episode. It was just that you guys just didn't understand some of the things that were in it, and that might have made it worse or better for you. I don't know, because a lot of Resident Evil gamers hate the movies. I've learned to accept them, but it was a journey. Right.
But I appreciate having a proper gamer here. And at risk of getting out on the wrong foot with gamers or you or the gamer community, but as an older fellow who wasn't a big gamer, I have to say, largely, I don't like what game culture is doing and has done to movies.
Yeah, it's just a fast pace, kind of get in, get out, but no depth or meaning.
A very brief setup, a huge busy middle, and then a summation at the end that doesn't feel emotionally worthy of the journey, which is the trip that you go on in a lot of video games, right? The middle is kind of the important, the solving of the puzzles, the defeating of the waves of bad guys, the boss battles. But the beginning, the middle, and yeah, there are obviously exceptions to this. Uncharted, I know, is famous for having a quite rich story and mythology around it. I've just watched the movie. I have not played the game. But
They're fun, and the story is better in the games than the movie. I'll give you that.
Okay. So yeah, I also, in a lot of my reviews, have noticed that I find video game elements to movies sort of keeping up. Like, there's a thing that they need to get, and in order to get that, have to get past this obstacle, and now there's another thing that they have to get, and it's another obstacle. A lot of the sort of John Wickian side quests that
It can be fun, but I think that every medium should be separate from one another, you know? Sometimes they cross over, sometimes they do. So, like, none of the movies we see today tie in with the games that exist.
Right.
You know, they're all standalones, retellings, or something like that. There are a couple that are out, like Assassin's Creed movie. That's part of the game series. That's part of the lore.
Oh, okay, so they accepted that as canon.
Yeah, it was built from the ground up to be that way. It's not big, it doesn't have a big impact, but it is mentioned in one of the games, a couple of the things. But I like that. They still kept their distance from the games, but it's still part of them, where the movies we're talking about today they're separate. The Resident Evil movies are separate. Not the animated ones, they're part of the canon.
Right. The animated games are more respected in certain circles, or pardon me, the animated movies are respected in some circles more than the feature films for Resident Evil, right?
Some people think that way. I don't like the animated ones. And they do tie in. I'm like, they feel so lazy.
And there's, especially in some of the early ones, still some of that uncanny valley sort of aspect to them. Like you can do it for a cinematic in a game for a few minutes, but as a feature length, it wears away at you. I find. I shouldn't speak for both of us.
No, absolutely. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I'm old like you two. I think we're probably a similar age. And so we grew up with all that CG stuff, and you know, some of it was brilliant, some of it wasn't, and modern stuff just isn't that brilliant anymore, and they're getting lazier. They're just cashing in on the name of the game, so...
I feel like games and movies are doing different things. And on some level, it makes them a little bit incompatible. Like, you can tell the story or attempt to tell the premise of a game or turn, I don't know, Pac-Man into a movie somehow, but like... either the game dynamics are compromised for story, or the story dynamics are compromised for the game.
Well, I will say, like, the best game story I think I've seen is The Last of Us.
Right.
And it's still not great when you compare it to any movie, right? Like, it's great for a game, because most of the game's story is told through atmosphere, and then there's moments of actual storytelling, but so much of it is atmosphere and what you fill in the blanks in your head as you're playing, right?
Right.
But then when you get to the movies, I want to be taken for a ride. I don't want to have to imagine my own between the lines all the time. Sometimes I like a challenging movie, but that's because there's something to find out. Yeah.
I think there are close things where, in a weird way, games became closer to movies or immersive movies. For this is going to be probably like make me lame for the gaming, but I did play the Walking Dead video game. My kids had the player, and I got this just for me. I got the Walking Dead game, and it's more decision based and story focused than most games that I remember playing.
Yeah, the Telltale game version of it. Yeah, there are games like that are all story with decisions. Detroit is a really good one. That's probably one of the best ones of that style.
Right. It's like a grown up choose your own adventure.
Yes, that's. With a little bit of button pressing for action sequences sometimes. Sure. You can turn it down to be easy mode too if you want, because some people just want the story.
Right. So it's interesting that it's come closer to accomplishing that with me playing video games. Another interesting one, and we'll get around to doing this podcast, I'm sure. Would you believe that I played the Friday the 13th video game?
Which one?
The one where you can play as Jason or as the campers and to try to escape. You either try to team up to gas up the car and escape, or you play Jason and you try and kill as many of them as you can.
I played it when it was alive. There was a way to kill Jason, too. Very convoluted.
Oh, really? Oh.
And I was Jason one day, and the other players were like, can we try to kill Jason? I'm like, sure, I'll play along, because I want to see it, too. You know, and you need a cooperative Jason to pull it off, but... You have to get his mom's sweater, do this, have one person die, call in Tommy Jarvis, you know, because he killed him in 4.
Yeah.
And, yeah, no, it was a good game. It was fun.
My peak with that was drowning Tommy Jarvis in a toilet. I really felt like I'd accomplished something that night.
When you saw Tommy Jarvis?
I drowned Tommy Jarvis in a toilet. I lifted him up and I dunked him in a toilet as Jason, and I don't know. It felt good, Shawn. It felt good.
The turntables, you know, they turned. I mean, if it's Tommy Jarvis from 6, he deserves it.
Right?
You know?
Really,
I don't
all
like that
deaths
comment.
after 6 are on him.
Yep.
Anyway.
Why did he have to open the grave?
He just didn't.
He wasn't supernatural before that.
No. Now he's like Frankenstein, Jason, and everybody's double fucked. Is there anything else you want to say by way of introduction before we actually list off the movies and get to the business, Shawn?
I don't know. My name is Shawn. That's. I mean, I don't really need to plug anything right now because there's nothing worth plugging at the moment. But I'm just here to talk about these games
And these movies
based on games.
Well, some of them are based on games. Some of them are they're all meant for game culture. I'll say they're not. Yeah. So. Yes. Well, in the order I have them in, if there's a specific order you want to review them in, we can discuss that. But Gamer, starring Gerard Butler, Free Guy, with Canadian superstar Ryan Reynolds, Uncharted with Tom Holland. We are going to talk about the new Mortal Kombat movie, which is interesting because the second one was just released, and there it is. The Angelina Jolie interpretation of Tomb Raider, the first of the 2 that she made, and Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, in which the Jumanji game is no longer a board game. It elevates into the video game world. Thanks for being here, Shawn.
No problem. I was excited that when you messaged me up to pick an episode.
Boom. Well, here we are. It has arrived.
Cable? It's me. It's Simon. I'm playing you.
Turn me around.
Going live in 3, 2, 1.
They call it a game,
Slayers gives the gamer full control of a human being in full-scale combat.
but the players are real.
Every one of our Slayers is a death row inmate. Stay alive for 30 sessions, you get set free. That's not a bad deal.
Some try to beat the system, but no one has ever survived.
Cable's a perfect soldier. He is what they want.
27 battles that was ever done. That man always ever come that close.
Gamer is from 2009. It's a Neville Dean and Taylor picture. These are the gentlemen who brought us the Crank pictures and Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. What's that, brother?
I like the Crank movies.
There you go.
I didn't like the second Ghost Rider. I liked the first one. But.
Right. I have a weird guilty response to it. But today we will discuss Gamer. They're known for their absolutely hyper-frenetic sort of energy. They make propulsive films, they make action-packed films, and they're loud, dumb fun on purpose. They want to move so fast that you can't think about how stupid everything is. Now, I've made excuses for Neville Dean and Taylor in the past, and it is interesting to see them playing within the video game world. And here we have a video game character who comes to realize that he is being controlled and know his controller, which would be sort of tantamount to knowing your God in some way.
Yeah.
But I have scruples a little bit. Like, the approach with the jittery camera angles and the hyper editing works fine in the Crank movies, but as far as emulating a video game, it seems very cinematic. It seems very sort of like out from like the presentation of the even a crazy first-person shooter. There's a clarity to the action and the movement, if nothing else. And some of the action gets like out there, and I appreciate that they were really willing to go for it and bow down to gamer culture. Like, people are being teabagged or whatever when people are killed. And so, like, I understand that this is a meal that's not necessarily to be fed to me. But even as someone who doesn't play the games, I felt the approach was kind of an interestingly not game approach. And then we have the first of a couple of villains that we're going to talk about this episode. Super rich, super tech boy, super, like, running the show. In this case, it's Michael C. Hall, who is now sort of forever known as Dexter. And it's a very big, eccentric performance, but, very different from the rest of the movie. And, like, having a big dance number with oneself and all of this sort of absurdity to it. I mean, I think it's a big swing. I think it's a bold swing, and I think there's probably an audience for it. But I don't know. I just didn't feel connected to it, and when it tried to start to play me emotionally after all of this sort of craziness and excessiveness, I couldn't really connect to that aspect. In some cases, in some of the other movies, the action was solid enough that I was sort of dazzled and entertained enough to get a pass. I felt like this needed something more, but I'm having trouble articulating or finding what that would be. So I guess I will ask you, what did you think of it, and what did I miss, or what is missing?
I've seen it 3 times now.
Okay.
So I do enjoy it. I am very picky, so I went in the first time thinking I'd hate it, going, oh, it's going to represent gamers. They don't know anything about gamers. But I thought they did really well. I remember early on this viewing, I was thinking, well, there's got to be a lag in controlling them, right? Because he's giving instructions to the player, or the character, right? But they even explained that in the movie, that there is lag, and there's a level of control that Gerard Butler has, and I really appreciate that. So it's not completely stupid, and It does respect gamers and the gaming thing. I mean, obviously it's not perfect, but I thought it was really good for what it was. It was never downright insulting gaming, and it wasn't going too deep. So I think it was for everyone if they wanted to turn their brain off.
Right. It's not the first movie that we're going to encounter where a character sort of finds themselves to be a person or a character in a video game. And it's kind of like the existential crisis and the philosophical nightmare that one would be boxed into. Obviously, that's not what this movie's about. It's not like that kind of science fiction. But I think there's some sort of maybe psychological angle that could be played. If you found out that your god was like this 12-year-old kid, like how crushing would that be, and how terrifying would that be?
Well, I think they are all really terrified there. I think like when John Leguizamo later on was sweeping up in that area, I mean, I don't think he was being fully controlled. I think he was just hoping nothing would happen. Right. And then, it happened. But I think they're just existing, and they're prisoners. Who cares about prisoners, right? Right. I mean, we have several movies like that: Running Man, Death Race, Human Centipede 3. All those are, let's just abuse the prisoners for fun.
And
I think this is just another one of them.
Yeah, and it's always more believable, no matter what the ridiculous, horrible thing that they're doing to the prisoners. You believe it. Like, you believe it.
They're just prisoners. I can accept this. No problem.
It might be me, man, because there's stuff in it that makes me think, like, I should enjoy it more than I do. Like, they really go out there with the Michael C. Hall character. He's, like, kind of batshit, right? Like, he's kind of big and preposterous, but a credible villain for this world.
He feels like a video game villain, like something out of Resident Evil. Just over-the-top, ridiculous, no thought for that anyone's ever going to try to stop him. Just cartoon. Right. And that fits perfectly with the gaming kind of theme.
And it was a different character for Michael C. Hall, for sure. He's not, like, reserved and steaming under the pressure of a situation, and he's not this, like, ice-cold, like, well, he has that aspect to him, but he's not Dexter, right? He's not this chilly presentation.
He's a lot more free to do what he wants, because he's got the money to do it.
Where do you land on Gerard Butler?
He's the same in every movie for me, which is fine. So he did great.
Yeah.
It's one of his movies, so if he fits into it, I liked it.
I can't quite put my finger on that dude. He's like, again, like you say, sometimes I watch a movie with him and I think, yeah, well done, he did well. And other times it's the same bit, but it doesn't feel like it fits in this movie, or like his heart's as in it as maybe it should be,
hard to tell. He's just like,
Yes.
just all the way through. It's like, all right, well, that's what we want.
And what a role! Like you are the action movie puppet being like danced around the scene for the amusement of others, like legit. But the stakes are getting really crazily, insanely evil.
Yeah, unsustainable.
Right.
As well.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. Is it it's not based on a game. I'm not wrong about that. This is just for game culture. Is there anything maybe I missed from a gamer standpoint? Like, there's probably a lot of references or like in-game.
Well, you mentioned the teabagging already.
Yes. Well, that one even I knew, but
yeah, that was just funny to see in real life. How they were doing that. Makes you wonder what that prisoner was thinking when he's being made to do it. It's like, okay.
Strange day on set. We may need an intimacy coordinator.
Yeah. Yeah, they talked about Of course, there was references to Second Life.
Okay.
Right? That was kind of like the...
Sims, but bigger type of deal?
Yeah. People spent a lot of money doing that. People made money with businesses in it, too. No one talks about it anymore, but... Because that's what the other one was. You could just... Without the killing, people just taking over avatars and doing stuff, so... That was very bright and colorful, too.
I appreciated how much they changed up the look of the film for that. Like, a real effort was made to, like, make it look and feel different. And I do, I respect that, for sure.
And it was very accurate to gaming at the time, too, because when that came out, gaming had that gritty, dark brown, gray, and then you had that sudden shift into your colorful for girls, kind of game, where it's like, let's appeal to the ladies.
Right.
There was cuts in, like, when it would cut, there was a lot of glitchiness in that. I don't know if I like that too much, because games shouldn't be glitching, so I don't know why we're seeing glitching. And I mean, it's telling the audience it's a game, but at the same time, we don't see that in games. We might see different filters or fades, but not glitching.
It's sort of like when they do a retro 80s horror movie and there's like weird film grain or glitches or like videotape distortion. It's like they're sort of throwing the sort of gamer, what do you call them when the game glitches? Glitches.
Yeah. I also found you could really date the movie because when the gamers are playing, they're playing on screens.
Right.
If it was made today, it would be VR.
Right.
And it wouldn't be near. It wouldn't. They'd be a lot more. Well, like in you've seen Ready Player One.
Oh yeah, for sure. Actually, we reviewed it this season on Rank and Review.
Right. So yeah, that's in VR. Whereas gamers, they're looking at screens. So I just think that was really dates the movie because who wants to do that with this kind of game? You'd want to be in VR for this, especially.
Yeah. What I will say for the movie, too, because I feel like I've been the negative Nelly on it, it does have momentum, it moves, it has a lot of reveals, it has a lot of style, like, it is not boring to watch. I just, I don't know, for some reason I was fighting it, I guess. I
mean, I was trying to, I was ready to fight it and throw it down, but it appealed to me. I liked how it was. It was fast-paced. And like you said, it was made by the people that made Crank.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I feel that. I feel that a lot now that you mentioned it. And I really like both those movies, so... Yeah, and it appeals to my gaming side. It's like the movie Waiting. I went into that to hate it, too, and I loved it.
Right.
I was a waiter for so long, so I was ready to go, this isn't Waiting. And this one, yeah, it's not quite gaming, but as long as it doesn't insult, that's all I need.
And I'm glad that you had fun with it. I will revisit it. I don't know. I don't like feeling so out of touch, but I feel this is like a conversation we may have a few times this episode. Is there anything else you'd like to say about Gamer? Do you think we've covered it?
I guess the music was good in it. I thought that was interesting because, it had that whole, of its era, that kind of rock music kind of thing. We got Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson in there, and that kind of thing is what you play in games from that era, so...
Also sort of dating the movie as well.
Yeah, exactly, because who listens to that song anymore, right? No, I think we covered it all. Yeah, a lot of good actors in it. I was shocked at all the good actors in it, like John Delancey, John Leguizamo, Terry Crews. Like, I didn't expect all these people.
John Leguizamo playing the role he seems to play again and again as the supporting character who gets killed.
And he didn't get killed as Luigi in the old Mario Brothers movie.
No, he made it through that video game movie. That's some good trivia out there for the kids listening.
But it's just a squeeze.
Wow!
Is this what recreational drugs feel like?
Guy, this world, it's a video game. And it's full of bad guys.
I'm a rule breaker. I'm a rattle chicka snaker.
We need you to be the good guy.
I'm sorry! Oh, God! Wow! Giddy up!
Is that a Glock in your pocket?
No,
What?
it's 2 Glocks. Oh! I'm not going to be the good guy. I'm going to be the great guy.
Okay. Well, enjoy your lifetime supply of virginity. Off you go.
Free Guy, Shawn Levy is the director. He actually directed Deadpool and Wolverine as well. He seems to get along well with Ryan Reynolds. And some people say he's amazing to work with, and other people seem to think that he's difficult. But he's Canadian, so I gotta, on some level, at least try to root for the guy. The problem is he's developed this Ryan Reynolds persona. It's tied in and it's wrapped up with Deadpool to a certain degree, but it's really been there to the Waiting, to the Van Wilders, to all of his sort of smug comedy character guys. And he wears it well, he does it well, but it's the note that he keeps playing, and he keeps playing that note in Free Guy.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of lazy for him. Like, like Gerard Butler, he has his style. I don't think it's lazy, that's just what he does. Where Ryan Reynolds can do so much more. I don't know if you've seen The Nines.
Right.
But that's great, that one. It really shows what he can do.
Actually, I don't mean to lie. I haven't actually seen The Nine, but my wife tells me that he's amazing in it. And
he is.
Yeah, I have seen him do good dramatic work. I remember being kind of surprised at how invested he seemed to be in the Amityville remake.
Oh, yeah, that was good. I saw that in the theater.
Yeah. Yes, I agree that he's capable of more. And I find that this movie, again, we have another video game character who becomes self-aware and realizes not only is he a character in a video game, but not a particularly interesting character in a video game. An NPC, as it were. But again, instead of going to the end of the philosophical and intellectual nightmare route, he kind of finds ways to try to make it fun for himself, and sort of his existence starts unspooling this game universe. And in the quote real world, this was sort of the time where the world seemed to turn suddenly on Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
It was a combination of this and Thor Love and Thunder, where he went from everybody's favorite to whatever. He's old news now.
Yep.
And I don't think he sucks in the movie necessarily, but it's got that same lazy Taika will come up with something off of the top of his head and it'll be fine. And so in order to try and disguise all of this pretty basic stuff, they put a lot of money into the special effects of, a video game becoming self-aware, or a video game slowly dissolving, and the environments being torn apart around people, and leans on the visual stuff. And I think, on a 3-star level, watch it with my kids, enjoyable movie, it does the job enough, but I'm not excited about it, and I watched it recently, and I'm having trouble producing plot points to bring up as this was really particularly surprising or interesting, you have like Jodie Comer and like a pretty decent cast, and I don't know, it seemed like a worse version of Ready Player One, but kind of entertaining in the way that like movies that tried to be Star Wars but weren't quite can be entertaining, like it's escapist but disposable. So that sounds unkind, but that's sort of where I'm landing on Free Guy.
I feel you there. I think the exact word is disposable, but it is fun. I didn't have a hard time watching it the second time, but it didn't do anything for anybody other than just being fun for the kids.
At times,
it just seemed a little inappropriate for the kids. Like the jokes were a little getting close to that line where it's not for kids, but not crossing it. I'm like, And you're exactly right. It's a lesser Ready Player One.
Yeah.
It doesn't respect gamers. It doesn't straight out insult them, but it doesn't care at all. Gamer at least talked about the lag, and they addressed that issue that was bugging me. I'm like, oh, well, you brought it up at least. That's all I care about. This one doesn't. It just exists in the way it is. It doesn't seem realistic, both technical side, the gaming side, reality side. It's just a cartoon.
Yeah,
and that's okay, but
it feels less like a cartoon than Ready Player One did inside the game. Because, like, all of the actors are actual actors. They're not, like, these sort of animated avatars until, well, we have, like, the muscle-bound version of Ryan Reynolds later on. But they have these twin storylines between this Ryan Reynolds character in the game becoming self-aware, trying to figure out who he is, and making friends and making changes in his world. And then this sort of Taika Waititi conspiracy and the tech guy that gets fired who sort of created the game or knows that he's plagiarized the game at its essence. And that it culminates in Taika Waititi with an axe smashing a bunch of shit. Like, it's pretty slight.
And of course, the last server he was going at was the one he should have got first.
That's right.
Like, all right.
He doesn't know the tech, but even, by math, he should have got it before he did. But again, it's just not that kind of movie.
Like, you couldn't just shut down the power, right?
No.
You couldn't have done that, turn it, unplug it. There has to be an axe, it has to be over the top and exciting, and create drama in the game.
So
I'd rather watch Reboot.
Yeah, ooh, ouch. Right in the feelings. Nostalgic feelings, but this is also not based on a real video game, but it feels, if I'm not wrong, a little Grand Theft Auto-y.
It tries to reference that, but
within the world of a PG movie.
Yeah, well, there is PG Grand Theft Auto by the same makers. It's called Bully. And it's this kid in high school who rides the bike instead of cars, and he pulls pranks on people instead of killing them, So you can do that.
Right.
But this was just, it's like, Grand Theft Auto's popular. Look, we're referencing it. Ha ha ha.
Right.
It wasn't very good. It didn't tickle my gaming heart.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Funny. As a gamer, is there stuff in there that you saw that I didn't, that might have kicked it up a notch or meant more, given it another layer for me?
No, I think you were better off. I think you're better off not being a gamer and having knowledge that games exist. It didn't insult me. It didn't make me go, "Oh, why are you doing this?" But it didn't do anything for me either.
Right. Particularly the real world stuff. The guy, is he going to get a girlfriend? Is he going to get a new job? Is he going to be like? Yeah, no. the stakes there are empty.
Yeah, they wasn't very good. Like, your programmer's like, whatever. Oh no, he stole your idea. Oh noes. Well, you've created AI, you're so smart, you can't possibly do anything ever again.
No,
you didn't take notes, you didn't write it down.
You're going to land on your feet, kid. You're going to land on your feet. And Taika Waititi's character seemed to be self-destructing in real time, like, anyway.
Yeah, without their help, because no one would have liked number 2 the way things are going.
Right.
People have tried that in the gaming world, like, I think Overwatch, I don't know much about that one, but people loved the first game. And then they made a second game by killing the first game. Like, if you can't play the first game anymore.
It's gone.
You have to play number 2. And people do not like the second game, so that's what happened in that movie, I guess they're a little bit, I don't know which happened first, Overwatch or this movie, but they're both
that's
similar
interesting.
In that way,
so there could be a little inside baseball, possibly. Maybe the movie's a little bit smarter than I'm giving credit.
No, I think it was an accident.
But I also think there is a place for movies that are fun, disposable entertainment that you can watch with your kids and not be too challenged by. And I like the best friend dynamic, his buddy that he made inside the, even more than his relationship with Jodie Comer, the other guy who sort of becomes self-aware with him, and we're friends! There's a little bit of sweetness to that I could get behind.
Yeah, no, I like elements of the movie. The best scene, of course, was when, I can't remember what his name was, Dude. When Dude came in, the big buff Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
And he had those, Avengers references and stuff, and, whatever the Captain America actor is. What's his name?
Chris Evans?
Yeah. He showed up going, hey, that's my shield, whatever. Yeah, that was cool and all, and that was, the best part of the movie. And to me, I think that's worth watching the rest of the movie just for that scene alone.
Right.
The whole battle scene. Otherwise, after seeing Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet, seeing the Emoji Movie, and Ready Player One, I didn't need this movie.
No.
It just didn't. If this one came out first, I think it would have done a lot better for everyone, including me, but it's I've already seen this 100 times. Ryan Reynolds isn't doing anything new or special, so cool, I guess. It exists.
That might be present in here, too. It seems to think it's doing something new, or at least act like it's doing something new, but this isn't, love or hate Deadpool, it was definitely doing something new. And it utilized the Ryan Reynolds persona in a character that it made sense. This is product.
I mean, Alex Trebek was in it, so that's a plus.
Yes, R.I.P. Another Canadian gone.
I was almost expecting his buddy to get into a fight with him, because I got a They Live vibe from that, right?
Oh, right.
Because you're trying to, try on the sunglasses, right? Get to see the real world. I was hoping they might have gone a little bit deeper into that, because how could you not be thinking of They Live when you write that scene?
Well, you and I can't, but that's a pretty old reference. I hate to hit you with that, but that was, 1988 or 87 that They Live came out?
Yeah, sure, but I just watched it a few months ago, so it's good. It's brand new.
It's still good. Really, most things John Carpenter has aged like wine. I do think that's another danger that video game movies are susceptible to, the hella references. Wink to this game, wink to that game, wink to some things that are going on. It's really funny and gets you a laugh, in the theater. But the older the movie gets, the more that, people forget that sort of phase of pop culture, the more it sort of seems like a random weight put upon the movie.
At least with Wreck-It Ralph, the characters they had in there were timeless, like Mario, Mario wasn't in it, but Bowser and Sonic and Pac-Man.
Sorry to interrupt. Funny story, Rank and Review listeners. Shawn and I kind of got off on a tangent talking about different video games and the ways they could be used in a movie or the influence that they could have in a movie, and we kind of strayed quite a ways away from Free Guy. So much so that I suddenly realized that my recording device was full and the review had been cut off. So I talked to Shawn about just sort of picking up where the recording had cut off. But we both kind of agreed that we'd stopped talking about Free Guy enough that we might as well just fade it out and call it a day. I mean, I was lukewarm on Free Guy, but what an indictment of the movie that the review dead-ended and neither of us minded or cared enough, or even, the conversation had drifted so far away that it didn't really matter that it got off. Movie reviewing. Since I've stopped, though, Shawn got here because he listened to the podcast and reached out and expressed an interest. And we did a test review for a Tim Burton episode, and now here he is doing his own episode of Rank and Review. This could be you, listeners. If you're interested in exploring deeper Rank and Review, reach out. I can't promise everybody a seat, but I can promise to hear you out. Anyway, what were we talking about? Right, we're reviewing video game themed movies.
My family has been looking for this project for a very long time. So much blood.
I'm pretty sure he's just threatened to kill me.
Don't touch your ear like that. You look like an idiot.
You have no idea who you partnered with.
I've been dreaming about this stuff since I was a kid. My brother Sam left one final clue.
I shouldn't have come out to play with the big boys, Ian, because you're about to get a proper Scottish welcome.
What?
Oh, crap!
After a bit of an interruption, my microphone was being weird there, we're back and we're recording, and we're going to talk about Uncharted, which is, believe it or not, actually based on a video game and not just sort of trying to feed that particular audience. I have not played Uncharted, but I know it by its reputation. It's known for having a much more interesting story and a mythology and a lore that it kind of builds on with increasing episodes, right? Am I wrong? Am I making shit up?
It's Indiana Jones. It's got a fun story. It's got a meaningful, but it's not deep by any means. It's a video game story, but it's Indiana Jones. Right. That's what Uncharted is, 100%. Just a lot more shooting because it's a game.
Right. Fair. It stars Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, and it's directed by Ruben Fleischer. He directed Zombieland, which I like a great deal, and Venom, which I hope not to step on any toes, which I was quite disappointed by.
I didn't mind Venom. It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay, but that was kind of disappointing to me.
Yeah.
Venom got his own movie, and it was okay. Anyway, I sort of kept an eye on the director because I've sort of been cheering for him because of what a great experience I had with Zombieland, and he's just never really come close to Zombieland again for me so far. And I have to include Uncharted, although I do think it has its qualities. What it doesn't have for me is the stakes that I want. I don't know if it's Tom Holland or if it's just generally like that. It starts in full go. Tom Holland's dangling by his ankle in the sky and like he could die at any moment. And I just don't believe it. He seems to know that he's going to be okay. He seems to have already read the script, and he doesn't seem terrified by his situation. I've mentioned this before on the podcast with characters like Snake Plissken or Blade, where they push the macho list to such a level that if they're not scared of anything, as an audience, it's kind of hard to be scared for them. And I bumped into this again and again in Uncharted with Tom Holland, who I typically like as Spider-Man. Fine enough, like he was amazing in The Impossible, but I really felt like for the main character of the movie, I felt like there should be more stakes in his face. Like Indiana Jones goes through it in every one of those movies. He comes out looking like a zombie by the third act, right? And I feel like he rarely puts a foot wrong, and very often is his life is spared by more chance than skill. Now you can do that and make it work for the movie, but it's weird for this hyper intelligent adventurer to sort of fumble his way into victory. And then you have the secondary father figure story, and when is the inevitable betrayal going to happen? We're going to talk about all of this again with Tomb Raider, right? Warring archaeologists or warring grave robbers after it comes to it, pit against each other. Who's gonna outsnake each other, and who's gonna come away with the prize? I guess it's closer to Free Guy than I'm comfortable admitting to myself. I think I like it a little bit more than Free Guy, but it's got that same sort of product feel to me, and the action sequences, part of them being because they're so spectacular and ridiculous, there's no physics or gravity to them. And again, maybe in the video games that's accounted for, or it's like a wink or a reference, but I did find myself being kicked out of this movie, while admitting all it really wants to do is be a fun, goofy adventure, and it kind of mostly is that. But you can see a really good movie just under the surface of this okay movie, and maybe it's my desire for the better movie that kind of bucked me off. So, again, a conditional thumbs up for Uncharted, but I wanted more from it.
My words that I assigned to this movie is painlessly dull. Like, it's so dull, but it's not hurting me either. It gives me nothing. I can't even hate it. It's nothing.
Right.
The games, in this case, tell a better story than the movie. And they're not complicated stories. It's, we're going to go look for treasure. That is literally Nathan Drake's motivation. They want to make money. Him and Sully want money.
But the biggest unfound treasure in history. They really button that, right?
Yeah. You're right. It's exactly like Indiana Jones. Even in the games, Nathan Drake is never confident. He's always bumbling and falling. He's competent. He's very good at what he does, but he's always like, oh no. He's very scared of what's going to happen. He never knows he's going to pull out of it, but he's cocky.
Right.
You know? And he survives, and everything he touches just falls apart around him. I think what really bugged me about this movie was that they didn't try to do anything really original. I think this is one of those movies that could have been in the canon of the games, because in the third game, they did this prequel sequence where you see how Sully and Nathan met. And this movie could have been of the infinite stories between them meeting and the first game. Okay. There's so much stories to tell, but then they couldn't use all the action sequences. That plane sequence that was in the beginning of the movie,
okay,
that's straight from Uncharted 3.
Okay. They
didn't even have to think about it. They just ripped it off. You know? They didn't do anything fresh. Like, they retold how Sully and Nathan met, which is not nearly as cool as the games. It was just, they just wanted to make money off the Uncharted game. But they couldn't hire anyone old enough to be Nathan Drake, so they went for a young Tom Holland to the prequel story in a worse way, and
well,
just dull.
I hear the gamer voice being disappointed here.
Oh yeah, this is one of the ones where if I hadn't seen the games, I still don't think I would love it though, because everything they did was, there was no big adventure. Like Indiana Jones, they have the map of them flying to this country, that country. Like that one scene, I forget already what city were they in Paris? Is that the main city they're in the sewers?
In which sequence, sorry?
They were drowning underwater. Was that
yeah. Was that Paris? I'm going to agree with you, but I'm unsure.
Whatever city it was, I don't even care. It just
tells you how deeply we thought about it, doesn't it?
Everything they needed was like within grabbing range almost. Like they go inside that restaurant to get that key opening, and then they're in the sewers like 2 feet away, and it's just, there was no like big tombs or dungeons. It was just, here's this little area, let's crawl through, and there you go. There was no like, once they were there, everything they needed was right in front of, like an escape room,
right,
rather than an epic adventure.
And an escape room that nobody had managed to notice until they showed up to discover it.
Right. They had it protected in that fast... I forget what restaurant it was. Burger King?
Right.
Did they go to?
Yeah.
And it's like... And they didn't ever destroy that wall that had that keyhole they needed to save them. That's just... yeah, I like the one sequence they didn't borrow from the games was that the ships flying in the air.
Right.
By the helicopters. That was really cool. And I really want to see that in a game now and fight and play that sequence. But
and again, a great video game kind of sequence, but it does seem a little Pixar. It's a very extreme. These like sunken ship flying through the air, and the characters on it being swung around, and the gold leaking out into the ocean. Like, it's pretty out there. So it's hard for your eyes to, like, accept it as reality, which is maybe why I read it as more of a cartoon than the special effects deserve.
Well, maybe that's where the video game mindset fits in, because you're supposed to just let it go.
Yeah.
The video games are nonsense, right? Like in the Uncharted games, everywhere you're supposed to go, the walls are kind of painted with a yellow to guide you. Where I was kind of hoping that would show up in the game. Like, why is this ladder painted yellow? Why is there yellow paint on it? That'd be a cool little reference. But they didn't do any cool references like that. They also brought in his brother, which we didn't see much of in the movie. But
setting up for the sequel.
Well, we didn't even hear about a brother till the fourth game. That was a throwaway. That was a character that they invented out of nowhere, never mentioned. And that's because the games were written by Amy Hennig, one of the best video game writers. And she wasn't involved in the fourth game, so they just kind of did whatever they wanted. And it's like, And now the movie took that aspect. I'm like, get out of here.
It was nice, but we're not doing that. I couldn't remember the name of the actress, Sophia Ali, who's sort of the other hangers-on, who's sort of vying for the treasure and a possible love interest and a possible this and a possible that, and the brother. Yeah. And the brother angle, and this, I really felt them setting up for another movie. And this is a complaint I can put against a lot of movies, but just make your movie. Make your movie, and then if it's successful, you can make a sequel, but don't waste time on your movie setting up a sequel that we may or may not have.
We're not going to get a sequel to that. You know what they could have done? And they even did it with Nathan Fillion did a small short film of Uncharted.
Okay. I like Nathan Fillion.
He played Nathan Drake. Because Nathan Drake in the games is Nathan Fillion.
Okay.
I mean, it pretty much is. It's not him, but we all think that's Nathan Fillion. And so he even did that. He even did a short movie with him being Nathan Drake, and it was really cool. Claudia Black played... What was the girl's name in... I can't believe I don't remember this. The girl's name in Uncharted.
Oh, the character?
She's in the whole series.
Chloe Fraser?
Character. Chloe Fraser, yeah. She was played by Claudia Black in the games.
Oh, interesting.
And she's a really cool actress. She's a really good actress. I think her and Nathan Fillion playing off each other, she's funny too. The one thing that threw me off in this movie, I didn't know why they didn't choose it. The Uncharted theme in the games is really epic and fun, right? And they didn't throw in that theme until much later in the movie. You wouldn't know it's the Uncharted theme. And it wasn't even as good as the game theme, but the first time we heard it, there's that guy on the beach.
Okay, in the score.
Remember the guy on the beach there? Yeah, that's the voice actor for Nathan Drake in the games.
Oh, inside baseball, thank you.
Yeah, so at the one point they're, we just fell from a plane. That happened to me once. That's because he did in the 3. And then, like, I'd rather have him in the movie than Tom Holland, because he has the personality of Nathan Drake. And then later on in the movie, they had more of that theme, and it was really great, and then it was, okay, now we're over. The one weird thing about the movie is he doesn't shoot a gun at all.
And it's kind of got a lot of that in the game?
That's the entirety of the game.
Okay.
I mean, it's shooting, and then you do stop to solve puzzles in tombs, but they're not going to tax your brain at all. They're just a break from the shooting.
Right.
But you're shooting in cars, you're running off of trains, everything's breaking around Nathan Drake. Like, everything he touches crumbles. Ruins, artifacts, broken. A clock tower in the city, gone. Just he touches it. And the movie is just calm, except for the ships at the end. It's just, okay, they almost drowned, but they're not blowing up the city, nothing's falling around them, and they're barely getting out. That was the draw of the games, is that always intense, all the time.
Indiana Jones grabbing his hat at the last possible second.
Yeah. Yes, and where is that in Uncharted the movie, right?
Yes.
It's not happening.
I agree.
And that's the thing. I had the boy watch all the Indiana Jones movies recently, and I watched Tomb Raider, and this can't even live up to Tomb Raider.
Right.
For the action adventure kind of movie, and it's like, come on now. And it's Sony Pictures. Like, it's their game. It's their movie. Like, why aren't you doing better? You should really push it. But nah.
I think they did short shrift on their villains too. Tati Gabrielle plays Joe Braddock, and Antonio Banderas was Santiago, and his character dead end. Yeah, he was sort of set up to be the big bad until he was suddenly killed by his right-hand man, right? And then she kind of took over, and I kind of was digging where they were going with her, but then they gave her this kind of ridiculous Wile E. Coyote ending, which I thought, I don't know, maybe they deserved a little bit of a better ending for that character. I'm not mad that she didn't make it to the end credits, but I just thought that was, even by the silly standards of this movie, a little sillier than I was anticipating.
I can live with the silly, because Uncharted is silly, but, I can't forgive the movie going, because I don't think they intended that. They were silly. They just didn't want to think or try too hard. It's like, here's an ending. Here's how it ends. It's kind of your basic stuff. I don't even have much notes about music. Flying as ships were cool. You brought up Antonio Banderas dying there.
Yeah.
I didn't even care.
Right.
It came out of the blue. It could have been surprising, but I'm like, okay. I didn't care.
Oh no! And to spoil an Indiana Jones movie, we could just watch. Antonio Banderas showed up in an Indiana Jones movie and was killed off halfway through it. So he's sort of kind of done this twice.
But it felt more impactful in Indiana Jones style Destiny than this, eh?
Right, for sure.
Like, oh no.
I guess.
Painlessly dull.
I guess Antonio was just a day player.
He must have. And maybe they had to cut him short. Maybe I don't want to be here for this dull movie anymore. Replace me. Kill me off. I don't care.
So be it.
He should have been more important. He should have been the last guy. He should have got something super... That's another thing. Nothing supernatural happened in this movie, did it?
Well, some of it felt incredible, but not supernatural. Like...
Because the games are mostly realistic, but at the end sequence is always something like crazy, just like Indiana Jones. You know?
Ark of the Covenant.
They're realistic, but then the Ark of the Covenant, the goblet, you know.
Yeah.
There's always that last... Man, Uncharted rips off Indiana Jones a lot, but they do it well.
If you're gonna steal for the best. But if you're gonna steal to this degree, you're gonna be compared to it, and you put yourself in a losing scenario in that case. Is there anything else you want to say about Uncharted?
I hope they don't make a sequel.
Yeah, I'm not like itching for it. Again, it's another movie that is just fine, but like,
yeah.
There's always going to be something more interesting for you to watch, I feel like.
No matter how many of my people you put in the ground, we will not fail. Kill them.
Fucking beauty.
2021 Mortal Kombat. Director is Simon McQuaid. I'm not super familiar with him, but I am to a limited degree familiar with the original Mortal Kombat, like arcade stand-up game. It was in the small town I grew up in. I knew people that were really into it. I got like the get over here and like the sort of hyper over-the-top final kills being over-the-top and excessive for the sake of being over-the-top and excessive to piss off the parents and to sell more video games. Like, it was a game changer, to use the phrase. It was incredibly popular, incredibly controversial, and I remember when it hit the zeitgeist, and it hit pretty hard. By video game standards, that made a dent pop culturally. I went to see the movie with a friend of mine who was a fan of the game, and he enjoyed the movie, but I have to admit that I do not have this revisionist sort of love for the original Mortal Kombat movie. I think it's a bit much. I think that the special effects are terrible, and the score, though authentic to the game, does become grating after a while. But that's the original Mortal Kombat, and I say that recognizing that it's a hot take. A lot of people love that movie for all of those reasons that I just listed, right?
Yeah.
But this is not my generation Mortal Kombat. This is sort of today's, modernized, hard, real world, air quotes, Mortal Kombat. I know this because I heard this on a review, but the main character of this movie is the one character who does not exist in the games. He is basically an entry point character to the audience. He gets recruited towards this Mortal Kombat. The realm that protects Earth has lost a number of Mortal Kombats, and if they lose one more, evil will take over. And the people are assembled, and the stakes are set. But if I'm not mistaken, no actual tournament of Mortal Kombat ever takes place. We see a lot of fights, but we don't get to the actual end game, really, for most of the movie, right? It's like... It's a different beast. It's about introducing the characters, it's about squaring them off, and and the reason to watch the movie, as far as I'm concerned, amazing martial arts sequences. The fights make it worthwhile sitting through the scenes in between the fights. But they make it worthwhile enough that I'm actually more enthusiastic about Mortal Kombat than I am about Free Guy or Uncharted in a lot of ways, in that, like, I can see watching this again, or watching it at least in the way that I'll sometimes watch some of my old martial arts movies, where I watch the highlight reel because I can get off on the joyful sort of excess of it. And I respect that this movie embraced that element of Mortal Kombat. It is gross, it's bloody, it's hard R, and it's kind of silly, but okay with being silly. Have some fun with it. So it works enough as long as you don't think about it too deeply.
Yeah, no, it's a different tone than that first movie completely, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's good. I mean, because if you're going to reboot a series, and you need to, because that second Mortal Kombat movie was just garbage in every way. Except for, maybe the fight scenes a little bit, if you're...
It's a tough sit.
These ones, but I was really hoping for a lot more realism in this one, a lot grittier. Like, if you're going to go a different tone, then go with it, I just felt it kind of got sillier as it went. Like, not silly, but it lost its opening sequence tone.
Right.
That they were presenting. And the second movie coming out, it's going to be silly again, I think.
Oh, really?
I think I've been seeing it just kind of, it's goofier. Because you got Carl Urban as Johnny Cage.
Right.
Was the one character I was really missing for this movie because they're setting him up for that one. But, yeah, it's just kind of, the next one, like, I might enjoy that one better because it's silly, because Mortal Kombat is silly.
Right. Always
has been, even in that first game. But, yeah, this movie just kind of, the fight scenes were good. It was watchable, but it's just not memorable, because it doesn't have that Mortal Kombat vibe to it.
Right. It's a different tone. It's a different tone. I will agree with that. Especially the way it starts with, like, this guy having his wife and kid killed and have a long, sort of prolonged, awesome fight, but not play out for him. But he foretells this prophecy that his bloodline, will be avenged. So it's a kind of deeper start than the movie deserves, and it's going to pay off at the end of the movie. But the Australian fellow, who I can't remember the character's name, bear with me here. Kano. He seemed to be a fan favorite, both from the games and in this particular movie, in that, from what I've read, because I did some review readings to help me with my video game crutch, people believe that he was the most authentic as far as reflecting the character he was cast as. Do you agree with that?
It's hard to say, because original movie, he kind of had that Australian accent, right?
Yeah.
That became canon to the game. That was so popular that that's how he spoke in the games going forward.
So the movie
right?
made that. That's interesting.
So the movie influenced the games because that was so good. Of course, so he did a really good job because he's a cocky Australian who he's an opportunist. He's a bad guy, and the laser thing was a little weird in this one. That's from the games, but just how he gets it, how he uses it, just it kind of felt, I don't know, weird.
But that is authentic. You sort of, in the game, you play more and then you get new abilities as you play, sort of thing? Like,
no, and that's the other thing I was going to say. Maybe because I'm old, I'm tired of origin stories. I'm tired of it. And this, fine, you're doing a reboot, cool, but I don't want to hear it. Let's just jump in. I mean, at this point, people who are seeing Mortal Kombat don't need a huge backstory for everything. For new people, you might have something, but not. Well, it's the Ninja Turtles, right? Every time there's a new version of Ninja Turtles, you got to hear their origin. That's why I thought Spider-Man was really good. They didn't show him being bitten by a spider in the newest version of Spider-Man, right?
No.
We're like, yeah, we get it.
We'll take that as read. Thank you.
So, most of this movie, I think this is why I tuned out of this movie so much, is we're hearing origin stories. Yeah, I know who Scorpion is. Although Cole Young is new to the movie. He's not from any of the games, as you said. And he's Scorpion's descendant, I guess. So that's kind of a weird thing. Because Scorpion does have a son in the games, and it's not Cole Young.
Huh.
So,
well, I think
I didn't care about him as a character.
He's more used as an audience surrogate to sort of ferry us into the world through his eyes and his perspective, because he's discovering it at the same time as us. It's a very oft-used story technique, but pick a character that is familiar to the game or that maybe makes more sense, or that's more... Everybody around him seems to have such more flash and dash than this chosen one.
Well, in the original movie, we had Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade. They were the ones who were learning about... Because they are the outsiders.
Right.
They don't understand any of the supernatural stuff and not part of it. And neither was Kano. So that's how you get into it, not Cole Young. And no one liked him. So he is in the second movie, I think. I haven't seen it yet. But here he has, 0 screen time.
Oh, no.
So he's not even relevant to the second movie.
They jar-jarred him.
He's there, but, yeah, pretty much, yeah. Because no one cared about him, right? He did serve his purpose, like you said, to have the audience get involved, but no one liked it.
Right.
He was kind of a nobody, nothing. I did like how when he got his title from that whatever tournament he was in first, he got the title from Eddie Tobias was the name of the guy, and that was the Ed Boon and John Tobias were the creators of Mortal Kombat. So that was kind of neat, little reference. I kind of expected more Easter eggs, but Mortal Kombat's all about Easter eggs. Tons of them. And this was just buy the book, here's a Scorpion, here's a Sub-Zero. Jax and Sonya.
I rarely played it, but when I put a quarter in the machine, I always wanted to play as the green Hulk-looking monster.
That's Street Fighter.
Oh, was that Street Fighter?
I think you're talking about.
See, this is me again outing myself. But I did watch Mortal Kombat as well. That's embarrassing.
Well, they blur in together because Blanca did exist in the Street Fighter movie.
Right. Okay. Well,
did you know that Johnny Cage was supposed to be Jean-Claude Van Damme in the game?
Oh, really? They wanted to use his image?
Yeah, they asked him, and he said he doesn't remember being asked to be in the game. But the newest game that just came out, he is a skin for... Jean-Claude Van Damme lent his likeness to be a skin for Johnny Cage.
Interesting. The more you know.
Is, I bring it up because you kind of crossed wires with Street Fighter Mortal Kombat.
Right.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was supposed to be in Mortal Kombat, the game, but he ended up in
being
Street
Fighter the movie. Interesting.
Yeah, which then became Street Fighter the movie, the game. There was one of those, and he was in that. So, even Jean-Claude Van Damme gets his wires crossed on it, so it's all right.
Yeah. I think one of the problems with being a, quote, straight-faced Mortal Kombat movie as well is that it takes some of the shine off of the ridiculousness. I remember when one of our good guy characters gets his arm frozen, both of his arms frozen and then shattered, thinking, oh, it sucks for you. Fatality. Nope. He gets new arms and he's fighting later in the movie, which kind of takes stakes out of other fights that we're going to have. And the characters who they were bold enough to actually kill, we didn't know or care enough about to be devastated by, I felt. So I think the movie's at war with the straight-faced nature of the production and the goofy, video game camp that was in the source material.
But they still got too goofy. Like, when his arms got big because of magic, or was it he learned to love himself and that's why his arms got better? Like, I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. Like, in the games, he does lose his arms and he does get metal arms, so that's fine.
Okay.
But in the movie, it just kind of felt, okay, he should be hurt a lot more. He shouldn't be getting these new arms that then magically just get better and get stronger because he wants them to. That just felt really silly for a movie that's trying to be serious.
Right.
Have him lose his arms, and then because Sonya Blade and Jax become special forces. In the next movie, he could have his metal arms. The government could fund him and get his. But gotta rush it in this movie, I guess. Maybe
him showing up in the second movie would have been a genuine oh shit, but.
Oh, he's back, yeah.
Yeah. I like it for superficial reasons. I like it for the choreography and the violence and the fighting. And like I say, I am patient enough to put up with the scenes in between that to give it a shrugging, pass. But like I say, I think it's got more rewatch value, at least to me personally, than like Uncharted or Free Guy even.
I think that's true. For me, I've seen so much Mortal Kombat in my life because I have all the games.
Right.
I have all the movies, and this is just, alright. Like, if I didn't have all that, then I'd probably be a lot better with it, but I've seen the story a million times, and they got the same old tropes, like the girl fight trope. I'm kind of tired of that one, too.
Right. The girls got to fight.
Oh, there's a girl fight. Well, it has to be the girls fighting the girls. You can't have it any other way. That's offensive. It's like, no. If the girl's wanting to fight, let her fight. Let her fight who she wants. No, it has to be the girl fighting the girl.
Maybe they
just like that in the movie.
Maybe they just need to go full gore with this, like go Terrifier level with the kills. Just make it so over the top and crazy that you just have to kind of go with it.
I want that. Like there hasn't been a Mortal Kombat where they've done that yet, where it's just so ridiculous. Like there's this one Mortal Kombat 4. Tanya's a character and she just twists the guy's head off 3 times with her thighs. There's such ridiculous moves. Like at one point in one of the games, Scorpion or Sub-Zero rips out a guy's spine, stabs at the guy's face. It's just not this ridiculous. Like you wouldn't even need that to happen.
That was the thing.
It'd be funny if the movie.
Sorry, that was the thing that made the game kind of crazy and holy shit, they got all its attention. It's a weird thing to not include here. But again, I think they're thinking about money at the box office. Although this is rated R, so they could have pushed it.
They could have. I think I'd like to see Mortal Kombat spend a lot of money in a movie and do what the games do. Because the games get tons of guest characters. There's Freddy, Jason, Alien, Predator. Get them in the movie. Do a big crossover, Do a Ready Player One thing where there's a whole bunch of cameo characters, That'd be neat. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
You have RoboCop versus Terminator in Mortal Kombat 11,
I don't disagree with this particular franchise. It really would pay to have some more fun with it, I think.
Oh, there's a Mortal Kombat 6. There's a mode that's called Motor Combat. It's Mario Kart, but with the Mortal Kombat characters. So they're driving around cars, and the Scorpion's behind, get over here, and pulls him back with his spear. Let's have a sequence like that in the movie, where they're all driving cars like Fast and the Furious, but using their abilities. A chase scene with Mortal Kombat special abilities. Let's go full out, do something new.
Yeah.
This isn't new. You know, it's just another reboot of retelling the story.
Yeah. I mean, I will get around to watching Mortal Kombat 2, but I'm not, again, chomping at the bit. But it'll happen. I mean, I like watching the martial arts. I like the sort of sophisticated choreography that's involved in it, and that it's hard to do action well. And like, for all our nitpicking, I do think they did the action well here.
Yeah, no, that's a good part. But I do watch it mostly for the stories, these things. So that's, as cool as that is, it's not going to draw me back.
It's maybe not enough. Is there anything else you want to say about the Mortal Kombat 2021?
Well, we'll see I just want to see if the second movie will justify this one's existence. Because if the second one's really good, then I will watch this one as a pair with that one all the time.
Right.
I'll work my way through this one. 'Cause it's not awful. None of these movies are awful. They're just...
Yeah. They're what they are.
It was hidden in a secret room. It glows, but it's getting brighter, like it's counting down to something.
You can build, destroy, move back and forth through time.
The future is yours now, Lara. You're the only one with the strength to destroy the power of the light.
We can be partners.
You might try to kill me.
I'm not going to kill you.
I said you'd try.
Time to save the universe again, then, is it?
Absolutely.
On June 15th, the biggest adventure of the summer begins. Angelina Jolie is Lara Croft.
This is where I start to have fun.
Tomb Raider.
So, Tomb Raider, or Lara Croft Tomb Raider. I guess I misspoke by calling it Tomb Raider, though. I'm looking at it. It's directed by Simon West, he who gave us Con Air. And it stars, almost obviously, Angelina Jolie, who was like the most coveted, thing, and like talked about controversial, drawing, Oscar-winning, all of these things happening in her career. And yes, they give her Tomb Raider because Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is Indiana Jones with tits. I hate to be blunt about it, but that is the game, that is the story, that is what's going on. And similar to some of the shit I was talking about in Uncharted, Lara Croft has read the script. She doesn't feel the stakes in the way that I feel that she should to make the movie as intense and as exciting as it wants to be. But there is something goofy and like out there about the movie, and like silly about the presentation of the character of Lara Croft, that like, yes, call it exploitive, call it selling sex through video games, call it whatever you want to do. There is something kind of amusing about this sort of variation to the Indiana Jones mythos. It did well enough to get a sequel, which was directed by Jan de Bont, who did Speed and Twister, and like it definitely had its moment. But I don't feel like a lot of people are still talking about Tomb Raider or have like strong feelings about Tomb Raider. And when I think about the movie, I either think about sort of the nostalgic time of where I was when it came out, and sort of the world around the movie, and like interesting little trivia, like Angelina Jolie doing this very poised English accent, but Daniel Craig doing an American accent. So it's kind of strange. And yes, Daniel Craig, who at this time was, not really known this side of the ocean. He certainly wasn't Bond yet. So it's kind of interesting seeing him in this sort of environment. All of the characters, and I'm going to assume that they're based off of the game, but there's Manfred Powell, who is the competitive guy who's trying to steal the treasure before Lara can, and her father, actually played by her actual father, John Voight, Lord Richard Croft, sort of as the man who shaped her into the person that she was. Noah Taylor is Bryce, the witty sidekick who has sort of bumbling, awkward, funny exchanges on the sideline. And yes, Daniel Craig, he's so dreamy. Is he bad? Is he good? Can she trust him? It's got a goofy charm to it, and like, I'm not going to be mean to it, but more than any of the other movies on this list, it just sort of like, yeah, it's the Tomb Raider movie. Like, so it is goofy because it is sort of inherently kind of what it is. If you want to meet the movie halfway, I think you can have fun with it. But I also think if you fight it at all, you're going to find it like almost hilarious. So, what do you feel about Tomb Raider, brother?
It's fantastic.
Nice.
You brought up how Uncharted, like just now, like there was no stakes. The character didn't seem to care, and she doesn't seem to care. Yep, spot on with the game. She just goes out. She doesn't care. Nothing phases her, right? Because the Tomb Raider games are really great, but the story there isn't one. You know, there is, but it never matters. It's just basically one place to the next. She's shooting everything in sight. Every animal gets shot. Everything gets broken. Like, she's just going through doing her own thing for fame and fortune. That is what she does. And so the movie doesn't have to live up to any story. And this movie does more story than any of the games do. But not so much to make you think it's going too far, you know? So that's really great. I like that it's got real fighting in it, as opposed to CG fighting.
Right.
Because that's from the era, right? And this is actually the very first DVD I ever bought.
Oh, really?
So it's got a nostalgia for me, too. So all the menus are really cool and leading to things. They respect the game, you know, because they're, like, the opening sequence, I believe she was wearing a costume that's from the games, and she didn't like wearing the costume, Angelina.
Right.
But she agreed to do it because for the gamers, you know? So they respected the game, they respected the gamers, even she understood the importance of at least doing one scene with that. And unlike, you know, Uncharted where he doesn't shoot a gun in the movie like at all until maybe at the end. I don't think he kills a single person. She's shooting people left and right. Like, he doesn't care. She's just doing her thing. She's the Tomb Raider.
And it's okay because she's hot and she's cool, and that's as deep as we're kind of asked to think about it. And it's interesting that you're calling that a success, as that it's an accurate reflection of the game. So it succeeds by sort of embracing the camp a little bit, which is maybe what I was talking about Mortal Kombat needing a little more of. Mm-hmm. I think of sequences...
Well, I mean, also...
Go ahead, sir.
Well, I was going to go back to when you're saying it's Indiana Jones with tits, right?
Right.
Yep. That's kind of what got attention in the games, too, because it was an accident. Like, they turned the dial up by accident and gave her a lot larger chest than they had intended. But it worked, so they kept it. So even in this movie, they were trying to get the character, like, they're trying to get Angelina to match the game's proportions.
Okay.
But then they realized it was too silly. Because they did pad her to be bigger than she is, but they didn't pad her to be as big as the game character's proportions. So, as silly as the movie is, they toned it down to keep the realism. Tomb Raider's a realistic movie.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I was saying at this time everybody was ogling Angelina Jolie. That's sort of what people were buying tickets for to a certain degree, and there was something, shall we say, honest about that. Is it exploitive? Is it maybe on some level a little bit tactless? Sure. But again, an honest reflection of the game, which is what I have to say about, like, the pendulum sequence. You know, when she gets on top of that huge swinging thing that needs to pierce the jar, and like, this is like a ridiculous Rube Goldberg contraption, again, that has been hidden away from the world for them to find. And again, in an Indiana Jones movie, we wouldn't question it, but in this one, it just seems goofy. And that she's actually up on this thing, riding it, and sort of willing it to hit the wall. And again, she fools all the guys, she gets what she needs, and she looks cool while she's doing it, and nary a scratch upon her. Like, it's almost without stakes. but it is strangely watchable. Like, I can't deny that there is something strangely watchable about the movie. It's hard to get sort of excited or proud about, like, my time spent with this particular movie, but I think it is a movie for its time and of its time. You were talking about gamer feeling of a different time. This does seem like sort of Hollywood first delicate dipping its toes into the water about doing an actual adaptation of a movie or a video game, pardon me, no matter how goofy it is. Like, roll into the goof. This is what people like about the game, so this is what they're going to like about the movie, and let's do that.
Yeah, no, and they match the tone of the games perfectly. The same level of action, same level of goofiness. It doesn't go any further, doesn't go any less. It is. They studied the game when they made this movie.
Okay.
So they knew what they were doing. And another thing, too, I mean, Danielle Craig's kind of a love interest for her, but not really. She's not fawning over him or like, oh, no. They're more like really friendly colleagues.
And it's not bogged down with
for the most part, the game...
It's not bogged down with the will they, won't they sort of thing, is all I meant to say. Sorry to interrupt.
Right. Because that's not Lara Croft. She never had a love interest in the games either. She is just her own thing, doing her own thing. And that was one of the powerful things about her, is that she didn't need no man, but she wasn't like, a loud feminist about it either. She just existed in her own world doing her own thing, She wasn't one way or the other. She was just being true to herself. And the second movie, well, they gave her a love interest.
Oh, there it is.
And at the same time, the game did that. Tomb Raider 6, they gave her a love interest. And then both flopped hard. The second movie, Cradle of Life, flopped, and the game flopped too. And they both blamed each other. Oh, no, the game sucked because the movie sucked. No, the movie sucked because the game sucked. So they're kind of blame sharing. But this one, it avoided all that and just kept true to the game.
There are certain franchises where you win points by not fucking with the formula too much. My beloved Friday the 13th is one of these. Like, don't overthink it. I did want to ask you again, because you're the video game guy and you've played these games, did it cater to a specific adventure of Lara Croft, or was it like an amalgam, or...
If you told me this was part of the Tomb Raider story, I'd believe it. There's nothing. It doesn't counter any of the games. Doesn't feed into any of them. The games themselves are almost all standalone. The origin of Lara Croft's, like, why she became a Tomb Raider, it's almost different every game.
Okay.
There's already 3 different universes for the series. But even the first 3 games, you read the manual versus the game versus this, you almost got 3 origin stories right there. So she's a blank slate. She's Bugs Bunny. She's whatever you want her to be for that instance. So no, it doesn't cater to the gamers. Just the style. Just like there's a one where she's smashing the clock, right?
Right.
And her butler's holding up a tray, blocking it. Well, when you're in the game, you can shoot the butler, right? But he blocks with his tray. So that's a little reference in there, right? The only thing they left out of this movie, which I think everyone wanted, was locking him in the freezer.
That's a thing?
Because in the games have most of the games have a tutorial mode where you're going through her mansion and just practicing her moves, because she's always practicing, always doing better. Makes sense. And then he's always follows you around as a nuisance. He's an old man butler, not this guy. But yeah, you can close the door on the freezer and lock him in, or she stops following you around, and everyone does it. Some people throw a penguin off of the cliff in Super Mario 64. In Tomb Raider, you lock the butler in the fridge. That's what you do. It's what you have. It's just what you have to do to be a human being. And she doesn't do it in the movie. And there was a perfect opportunity. Like, she could have locked him in the freezer to protect him from the fight that was going on. That was a missed opportunity. Very offensive.
Well, thank you for again representing for the gamers, because I have to confess, I'm more familiar with Lara Croft from this movie than I am from the games. It was impossible to not be aware of Lara Croft and the success of the Tomb Raider franchise, but again, I've never touched any of the games. It just, I was watching too many movies.
The original ones are challenging to get into, so don't feel bad about not doing it. A lot of people hate them in some ways, If you're not from the time, you're not going to like them. I mean, playing games at that time.
Well, I don't hate this, but I don't want to oversell it either. I think it's one of those is what it is kind of numbers.
Yeah, it's a super fun movie that doesn't bother me in any way. I can watch it again and again.
Awesome. Is there anything else you want to say on Tomb Raider? Have we covered it?
Not about the movie itself. I just thought the DVD menu, because the DVDs are fairly new back then.
Right.
Really cool menus, the way they zoom in and out. Oh, I do have one thing I want to say about the movie last. I love how it is not CG fight scenes, right? It's all, practical. But then when they do get into CG for, like, the statues moving around, that's laughable. You can't forgive. That's just so stupid for those monkey statues.
And
it takes you out of the movie quite a bit.
But I laughed and was enjoying myself while I watched it. And maybe I'm laughing for the wrong reasons. And maybe I laugh for the wrong reasons a lot at this movie. But I'm talking about sort of entertainment value. I did get that. Enough of that.
And that's the nice thing about this movie. It lends itself to be laughed at while not hurting the enjoyment of it.
Yeah. Have some fun with it, kids.
It's got itself in a good place.
I agree. I think we've covered it, man.
Wow, this is a fun group. Welcome to detention. Spencer, Bethany, Fridge, Martha. You're all here for a reason.
Hey, person walking.
You should be thinking about who you are and who you want to be. You'll have plenty of time to figure that out while you're cleaning out the basement.
Are you gonna help, or are you too pretty? I'm too pretty.
Yo, what's this?
A game for those who seek to find a way to leave their world behind. Jumanji. You pick a character, and you're that person in the game.
Which one do I pick?
I don't think it matters that much.
Bruce Finbar. Sounds like a badass.
I'll be the curvy genius.
Dr. Smolder Bravestone.
I guess I'm Ruby Roundhouse.
Jake Kasdan, son of Lawrence Kasdan, directed Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I had a lot of fun with the original Jumanji. It was goofy, and I was a little bit old for it. Like, it was a kid's movie, but I was like a teenager and was a little snotty about what I liked. But I could agree that there was fun to be had in Jumanji, even though some of the CGI hasn't aged particularly gracefully. There's a lot of fun in that movie. And I will confess, when I heard there was a new Jumanji starring The Rock, and that it was about video games, I had a sort of fuck this kind of reaction to just hearing the news. But my boys were kind of curious about it, and we ended up taking them to see it in the movie theater like you do. And I have to say, the movie overperformed for me to a significant degree, in ways that I could not have anticipated. I'm a fan of Jack Black, but I would have never anticipated how well Jack Black could play a teenage girl, right? I'm a fan of The Rock, but like his shtick is getting kind of worn. We were saying the same thing about Ryan Reynolds, but this movie kind of leans into that because he's an action archetype and he smolders or whatever it is that they call him doing. Sort of the smart, erudite girl ends up, trapped in the body of this beautiful, I'm forgetting the name of the actress here, Karen Gillan. It was a long walk, but we got there. Yeah. Karen Gillan, this girl ends up in this, like, Lara Crofty kind of character, right? When that she uses her sensuality to get things done, and her feminine energy sort of is factored into anything, which just makes her want to die inside as a character. But she has to obey the rules of the game. These kids are all put in detention. They found the new version of Jumanji, which has wisely updated itself as a lure to be a video game because kids aren't as into the board games anymore. And they get sucked in, and everybody is not just challenged by the game, but the role that they're asked to play in the game. The jock is trapped in the Kevin Hart character, who basically carries the gear and stays in the rear, and isn't, the point hero of things, and isn't the star of the show, which he's used to being. The character conflicts, the internal stuff, works as much as the adventure does. The balance is actually surprisingly there. I think the sort of more goofier stuff about it is like the video game players that don't have an anchor in the real world. The villain, for instance, Bobby Cannavale, and there's an actor, Rhys Darby, who was from Flight of the Conchords, who's sort of their first NPC that they encounter, who's like, I'm sorry, I don't have answers to your questions. He can only basically set up the next level for them and give them the basic information. I don't know. I think that it was a really smart approach, and it didn't feel like just a cash-in on Jumanji. It felt like somebody who was handling a brand that they had some affection for and handling it well. And I just remember laughing way more than I was expecting to, and sort of that, you know, when they did try to do the payoff emotionally, it's minimal, but there is an emotional payoff to the movie that kind of worked for me, and that is something that none of the other movies kind of accomplished. So, whereas I talked about earlier movies where I came in, you know, really excited or intrigued by the premise, and that hurt the movie for me. Maybe it was my doubt and my sort of reticence about the existence of a legacy sequel to Jumanji that made it be such a pleasant surprise for me. You could argue that it's product like we were accusing of some of the other movies of being, but it's a product that I think worked on me better than expected, so I'm a little bit more enthusiastic about it. I also watched it with my boys, and they really liked it, and that always helps for me. What did you think of Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, and what's your relationship with the franchise?
I really like the first movie. I think it'll always be the best. You know, as a great adventure movie with some comedy elements. And you did say you laughed at this one a lot, and I agree. This is a comedy adventure more than adventure comedy. Like, the comedy's first, and I don't like that as much. Still a fun movie. The one thing that really just tears me up on this movie is I don't think they care about the logic. They care more about the comedy and the jokes than how things work. And that I get hung up on that a lot.
Okay.
I think it does. I didn't watch the first movie again with this. I don't remember, but I do believe they do bury the game on the beach, and this movie opens up with them finding the board game on the beach, right?
Or the original kid does, right? Because
yeah. And then of course it changes to a video game because like who plays board games?
That's
so
right.
That's cool. Like whatever. I would love to see them rope Zathra into the franchise. Because in the books, Jumanji and Zathra were on opposite sides of a board. Jumanji was just a flat board game, and Zathra was on the other side of it.
Oh, interesting.
That's how that worked, right? So Zathra is in the franchise as well. It's just space-themed instead of jungle-themed. So I'd like to see them combine the two. I don't know if they will. There is a reference to the first movie in this one, because the hideout they get to, that is the Robin Williams hideout. In the next movie, we actually see, I always forget the actress's name, but she played Lilith in Cheers.
Right, Bebe Neuwirth.
Yeah, that's the one. She was the aunt in the first Jumanji.
Right. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten that. You're absolutely correct, yes.
Yeah. And she comes back for the next movie, like Jumanji the Next Level, which you'll see when you get there, right?
Interesting.
There's no real important aspect of that, but I think I'm hoping it leads into the next movie, because the next one comes out this year, I think.
Oh, really? I was wondering.
Which would be like Jumanji 4. Because one thing you were talking about was it was really interesting watching these characters, Jack Black, Rock, and Kevin Hart, and Aaron. What's her name?
Karen Gillan. Yes, we got there.
It's fun watching them be these different characters. And when you watch the next movie, there's a little bit of a change up on who's in which body.
Okay.
So you see them acting different again. And then the new movie coming out, I believe, the characters, like The Rock's character, whatever his name is, something Smolder or whatever his name is, those characters I think are coming to the real world.
Oh, so it's like a reversal.
Just like Jumanji.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, like the original Jumanji, right?
That's right. They came out of the board game.
Right, and I think that's happening for the next one that's coming out this year. And I think Jack Black is playing that character now. So now they're not being possessed; they're playing those characters. I think that's going to be really interesting. So, as a whole, because you asked me what I thought of the franchise, I think as a whole it's going to be brilliant. But this movie alone, it tears me apart because on its own I don't like it as much. It's super fun. I enjoy watching. I could watch it again and again. But I'm constantly getting hung up on the logics of it. Because at the end, they remembered being in the board game. They remembered being in Jumanji, right? And the older one, the Colin Hanks, right? He's the grown-up version. He should remember because he was the first one. Remember Robin Williams and whatever? They remembered being in the board game, but the kids had no recollection. Like in the first, right? So I'm almost guessing Colin Hanks' character, the older boy who got in years ago, he must have set them up to go in the game. He must set them up to be sucked into it. Otherwise, they would have forgotten.
Oh, because he couldn't finish the game unless other players joined the game. I thought he was just stuck there until they played.
They did, but then that's the same kind of thing that happened with the kids in the first movie, right? Because he was stuck in there, and then they joined the game, and then they continued the game, and then he was free at the end.
And that changing of the past should have changed so they never ended up going to. Yeah, I see what you're saying. The constant sort of time travel loop problem.
Yeah. Because in Robin Williams, when he came out in his own time, just like the Colin Hanks did. But Robin Williams and them, they prevented those kids' parents from dying because they died going on a ski trip. So these kids in this movie, Welcome to the Jungle, they shouldn't have any recollection unless they got a hold of the board game. And how did they get a hold of the board game unless he set them up to play it? Maybe he's a little psychotic. I don't know.
Well, it is interesting.
They're my friends. I want to see them.
Like, if they get back and everything's changed and that guy never disappeared, but then this guy who's loading the car one morning or getting the kids ready for school or whatever he's doing, he sees these kids and this recognition happens between them. And he's like, yeah, for them it just happened. For this dude, it's just another day in his life because he played the game. But again, that is an unexplored avenue in the original Jumanji. The fact that he does remember all the time that he spent in that game is sort of the danger of Jumanji. Like, you can be trapped there, and even though if you come back to the age you were originally, you could be trapped there for years, or in theory, eternity, right?
Right, yeah.
So, again, there's...
It seems like it's a...
So, go ahead.
Yeah, It seems like the game has ways of making it get played, right? Like it'll get found.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see an origin of Jumanji. Once this little thread is done with the next movie coming out, I want an origin story. Like, is it a demon? Is it a genie? Like, what is Jumanji? Like, what is making this happen?
Is it designed?
What makes it happen?
Is it designed to make you learn something about yourself and improve you as a person, or is it a potential prison? Is it a positive thing? Is it a negative thing? Is it purely chance? Is it like cosmic gambling with your fate? Like, there's a lot of meat to chew here. I agree.
There's a really good point in this movie where they have their lives marked on their wrist, on their arm, right?
Right.
And they mention, like, well, do we die forever if we lose our lives? But one of them says, well, that's what I think. They don't say outright that is what would happen because they don't know. And then I wonder, too, like, maybe they wouldn't die. Maybe, okay, fine, you're kicked out of the game. Game over. Back to the real world with you.
They just wake up.
That would have happened, right?
They wake up in detention and they're there and the other players are still in the game, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Because I go back to the original Jumanji. He was trapped because she didn't continue playing the game.
She rolled the dice and
ran. If she had just rolled a few more times, if they both died in the game, it might have just reverted. Like, okay, you had fun. Did you have fun playing the game? It's over. But because she ran, he was trapped.
And the creepy thing is we don't know.
And in this video game, and this is a video game, it's a 4-player game. Just like that Friday the 13th game, you need more than one player to play it, right? So maybe this game is multiplayer only. And it's like, fine, you're trapped until more players join in because we need... So I think there's a lot of interesting ideas, but they don't explain them, and I wonder, did they think it through? Are they going to give us the answers in the next movie? Or are they just like, let them figure it out. Let them fight over it. And that's what bugs me. I like to have answers. I don't like let the audience decide.
Have you read the source materials, brother?
I haven't, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, neither have I.
I want to get them, I just never have.
No, I haven't either, but it's interesting.
But I've researched them just a bit to know that Zathra is part of the Jumanji board, like the flip side of it, so...
That's cool.
That was a good movie, too, if you watched it.
Oh, I'm a big fan. Again, that one I showed to my boys when they were quite young, and I think part of it kind of scared them, so they remembered it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a frightening concept, really.
Right? And that is sort of the interesting thing perching over this whole thing. We don't know if it's a benevolent creation or a malevolent one, and we still don't this many movies in, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say about Jumanji? Sorry, say that again, brother?
I would say, we're 3 movies in, we don't know what's going on.
We're
just go there for the ride.
Sorry, you just garbled for a second there.
I was thinking Jack Black, I'm getting tired of him being in video game movies. He's in a lot of them.
I have not seen Minecraft.
He's in Minecraft. I don't love it. It's not bad, but I don't love it. He's also in Borderlands.
Right.
And he is in the Mario movies as Bowser. It's like, okay, buddy, but I'll forgive him because I believe his first acting role ever was in the Atari 2600 commercial for Pitfall.
Is that his first gig ever?
I believe so. He looks like he's like 10 years old, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Like he's a kid. And the funny thing is, he's wearing one of those adventure hats. So when I see him in Jumanji, I'm like, dude, you're just playing an old man version of your kid from Pitfall.
Weird.
He's got the same hat, basically. Yeah. Way back to Pitfall for the Atari 600. He's doing the commercial for it.
That's old school. The first thing I remember seeing him in and noticing him was this Tim Robbins movie, Bob Roberts. Jack Black played one of the disciples of this political guy and who just had the craziest eyes. And he had a memorable death in Tim Burton's Mars Attacks. But he's come a long way, but I think part of your complaint about him being in all video games movie is that he's in everything now. He just seems to be like, Jack Black's an appealing character. Let's find a place for him in this movie. It will make more money, you know? But I really was surprised by his performance in this movie because it's not an obvious choice, necessarily. The casting, I mean.
Well, I'm guessing that maybe he asks for video game movies, because he does have that history, and he's a silly guy. He's a child.
And he cares about his kid fan base a lot, too.
That's true, yeah. He likes to play with wrestlers, too. Wait, no, Jason Momoa was never a wrestler, was he?
I don't know.
I don't think. He seems like he could be.
I would.
He's in Minecraft as well, right?
I don't doubt it.
Jason Momoa.
It's
a good movie, though. Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah. Is there anything else you need to say? Have we covered Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle?
Yeah, I think we got it covered. I mean, they covered the video game rules pretty good, too. They mentioned NPCs. They talked about cutscenes.
Yep. So,
they respect the gaming world. They respect gamers.
And they didn't hurt Jumanji while doing it. I kind of was charmed by the game board aesthetic of the first 2 Jumanji World movies, so I was originally resistant to the moving into the video games, but for me, it pretty much worked.
Yeah, no, it bugged me too, but it made sense for it too, because really, who does play board games anymore, right? Especially when it comes to kids playing. So it changes for whoever wants to do it. Maybe someday it'll be a VR headset or something.
That's right. The world changes constantly, and we are haunted by not just the things we missed that came before us, but the things we will miss that will come after us. These are the heavy head-spinning thoughts that Jumanji puts in my brain.
Yeah, Jumanji. It's the philosophical movie of the century.
Boom. So that was 6 game action movies. And thank you so much for bringing your expertise to the episode. Shawn Lawrence, a pleasure to have you on board. This is the part where you get to rank them from your least favorite to your most. And my guest is put in the awkward position of going first here. So this is the part where I ask, what was your least favorite of these 6 game movies and why?
All right, well, I like them all well enough. You know, I don't regret watching any of them. I will say my least favorite of these 6 will be Mortal Kombat.
Oh, wow, okay.
Just because, and like I said, they're all fine. Like, I don't hate Mortal Kombat. Being last place with me, I think it's awful. It just didn't do anything for me. And as such, like, I could have just walked away of the room and come back and I would have known the difference. But, so I've seen it twice now. I probably won't watch it again until I'm watching the next one.
Right.
So, but that's why I said number last. It didn't really do anything.
Fair enough. Moving on, what's your 5th ranked?
Uncharted.
Okay.
Because it was between Free Guy and Uncharted. Spoiler. I chose Uncharted because me being a gamer, it disappointed me. I wanted so much more from that movie because it wasn't someone ripping it off. It was Sony themselves making this movie, and they just couldn't understand what made their games popular, and they just pumped it out hoping we'd suck it up, and it just wasn't worth it. So that's why that one hit next, because of the disappointment. Number 4, I said, is Free Guy.
Okay.
And that was just because it didn't do much either, but it didn't disappoint me. I didn't have any expectations for it. So that's why that climbed above Uncharted, because it didn't hurt my feelings.
It went down easy.
It went, yeah. It's like a chaser. And then if we're going to go to number 3...
Yep.
And these ones hurt, because I like these 3. It's Jumanji. And it's just because of the whole... I get hung up on the mechanics of it all.
Right.
And I thought some of the jokes may be a little bit more inappropriate for a family movie. And some things didn't make sense. Number 2?
Yep.
Gamer.
Okay.
Just because I had a lot of fun with that one. And what's number 1 then? Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider makes the top spot.
That's going to be nostalgia for me.
If it hits you personal, it hits you personal. That's fine. No, Tomb Raider gets the top spot. I get it. If it's your first ever DVD and you were like really into it at the time, it's like a piece of your youth. Like, I get it. I absolutely get it.
And it's not offensive to the game, to gaming. Great casting all around. And except for some of those CG sequences, it's perfect for what it's going for, I think.
All right. Well, we have
and that's the list.
We have a pretty different list. We're different lists here, but I don't think we're going to come away scrapping. There's only one swap that is pretty dramatic, and you'll spot it right away. But again, I appreciate you bringing your expertise to it, and I think that that might be the difference to your enjoyment of certain movies or others. But your number 2, I believe, is my number 6. I actually put Gamer in 6th place. It kind of bucked me off early, and I had trouble getting back on. And I was wanting to like it and expecting more from it, and it was kind of like it was loud and busy and kind of jittery, and it could have been the wrong movie at the wrong time. And it sounds kind of dismissive, but like it hit me wrong. Whereas most of the other movies I'm talking about, I'm not enthusiastic about, but it's fine. It kind of hit me bland in a way. Because we go back to agreement. In 5th place, I put Uncharted. For as hard as they're trying to be the next Indiana Jones, the stakes aren't there, and the weight of the proceedings isn't there. Like, it just doesn't feel real world at all. I don't know that it's trying to, but it definitely doesn't feel real world, and that hurts the stakes. Free Guy, to stay in agreement with you, is in 4th place, and it belongs in the middle because it's mid, as the kids like to say. It's not bad, it's not loudly awful, but it's not loudly good. It's not innovative. It's got a good cast, but almost in a way that more than the movie deserves. But it doesn't suck. From this point on in the list, I think that the top 4 are pretty watchable, if not enthusiastic, reviews. Third place, I put Tomb Raider. I'm sorry, brother. I had fun with it. I did have fun with it, but there were times where I was laughing with it, and there were times when I was laughing at it. Like, that did happen. And both of those things are, entertainment value. You can get something out of that, but it's kind of weird to see them coexisting in the same movie. And again, I don't have this personal nostalgia for it. I think I did see it when it came out, but it was so gone from my head that it felt like a new experience while I was watching it. And to punctuate our biggest disagreement, I guess, of this list, I put Mortal Kombat all the way in second position, because I think I'm a sucker for some badass martial arts, which this movie does include, and sort of the gory, silly spectacle of it. It's not exactly a good movie, but it's exactly an entertaining movie. So I gave it all the way to second place. But who knows? Maybe when I revisit it, that tune will change. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, I put in the top spot. I think it probably, in my opinion, will appeal to both audiences the most. I mean, the audience of film goers and the audience of gamers. I think both groups are going to get something out of this movie. And it had more laughs and more emotional punch to it than I was expecting. Again, I don't think it's fantabulous. I don't think there's an amazing movie necessarily on this list for me, but I was genuinely surprised by how much I liked it. So it fought its way to first place.
I think you'll like the next movie even more then.
Well, okay. Well, maybe I'll have to make a project of that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing Rank and Review, Shawn. Is there anything you would like to say to the people on the internets before we wrap this up and this episode hits the rearview mirror?
Just keep a watch for me the next time a video game list comes around. I'll come back for that.
Well, it might be a little while because we're wrapping up the season coming up, but I will let you know, and hopefully we can make it work again. It might not necessarily be on games, but I will definitely try to gear it to something that is good for both of us, right?
I like movies as much as games, so whatever works.
I couldn't split my focus. I have to choose one, apparently, and I guess I chose movies.
It's very tough, I pick a game like, I got so many movies I need to watch. Then I watch a movie, I'm like, that game is waiting for me to finish it, I got like 20 hours left to go on it,
And then there's these kids that you gotta feed, and there's these jobs that you gotta do, and it's just a never-ending thing.
The kids interrupt, and you know what? You know what's really dumb? The kids don't like my games.
Oh, really? They like their games.
They'll play Minecraft, Fortnite, new Tomodachi Life game that's out, but, I want to throw in some old ninja guy, like, come play this game. Yeah. Like, come on, guys. If I was a kid with these games, I would have been in heaven.
I played Super Mario 3, like the retro turn into a raccoon Super Mario 3, which is one of the few video games that I had some pretty decent skill at. And my boys were wowed, because they knew how much I sucked at video games, that I could make this game. Because when they tried to play it, they found it, cripplingly difficult.
Yeah, modern games just baby people too much. It's gross. Their time sinks.
But we're glad that they're there, because we need, distraction from crushing reality. We need it.
Stupid reality.
Thanks so much for being here, Shawn. I really appreciate it.
I'll be around for the next time.
Can't wait. How did we do, kids? How did you feel about that particular rank? Was I too generous to Jumanji, or not generous enough to gamer. How would you rank the movies? What do you think of my cultural black spot of not being a big gamer in any sort of serious way? Any feedback, I would welcome it. You could send it to ranknreview@gmail.com. That's ranknreview @gmail.com. The website is ranknreview.ca. If you're struggling with the gaps in between episodes, you could maybe check out Jason Dubray's podcast, The Shelf-Shutting Movie Show. Show some love, and thank you so much for your continued support of Rank and Review. Thanks for listening. This is the voice of your host and random Canadian saying, I hope you have a really good rest of your day. Keep gaming.